1994 Stanley Cup Finals Game 4. A penalty shot for Pavel Bure, with the Rangers trailing the game 2-1. The momentum of the game and possibly the series hung in the balance.
Everyone on their feet at Pacific Coliseum. Here comes Bure against Mike Richter.
Never in the history of the Stanley Cup Finals had a player scored on a penalty shot. But unfortunately for Richter and the Rangers, if there was one player who could break that streak, it was Bure. Richter and Bure had already squared off in the spotlight during the 93-94 season, with Richter coming out on top.
Here's Bure winding and stopped by Richter.
Mike Richter wasn't just good that season for the Rangers. He was amazing.
Centering pass in front. Oh, and a remarkable play by Richter, and then another.
Richter became a hot goalie for the Rangers in 93-94 because his athleticism was extraordinary.
Richter rose to the challenge and performed like no other goaltender in Rangers history, posting a career-best 2.57 goals against average and a franchise record 42 wins, including an historic 20-game stretch without a loss.
I always talk about Mike in the terms where I feel that the goalie is really the backbone of any team that I played on. He leads you out to the ice. He's basically leading the charge, and nobody did that as well as Mike Richter.
After capturing the President's Trophy for the league's best record, the Rangers were poised for a memorable playoff run, but Richter knew it would be a challenge.
I don't know, there's stats everywhere. Teams that won the President's Trophy weren't going to win the Stanley Cup. You know, the specter of 50 years without a cup. If you're going to win a championship, they're not going to give it to you free. You have to go out there and earn it.
It's the playoffs now, so each game gets more intense. Each round certainly does, and they're not going to roll over and say, we're behind 2 goals, we'll never score.
You can pick out so many moments through the playoffs. He really picked it up another level. Whenever we needed that big save, whenever we needed the penalty kill, he was there for us.
Saved by Richter!
It looked like it would be easy, because the Rangers had dominated New Jersey during the regular season, going 6-0 versus the Devils.
All those games that we played during the season were incredibly intense and very, very close. Certainly a level of intensity that's higher now, and it should be because we're in the 3rd round of the playoffs.
The pressure really was on Richter more than Brodeur. I mean, the Devils were the underdogs. So one false move by Richter, and we say in French, it's Ach and Vey. It's the end of the world.
The two rivals put on an incredible show for the first 5 games, but Game 6 made the series one for the ages. The game will always be remembered for Messier's bold prediction, but Richter's performance between the pipes was equally impressive.
New Jersey was on such a roll and playing with so much confidence that we couldn't do much about it. And, you know, he's the sole reason why we were able to win Game 6.
Saved by Richter, rebound, saved by Richter!
The goal at the end of the 2nd period was a big momentum swinger, but that goal doesn't mean anything without Mike Richter basically shutting them down.
The New York Rangers have defeated the New Jersey Devils to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in 15 years.
Brodeur may be looked back upon as the best goalie to ever play, but I thought Mike was the better goalie and made bigger saves at that time.
The Rangers would ride their emotions and their hot goaltender into the Stanley Cup Finals.
Running shoot, saved by Richter. Good save by Richter coming out. Lume with a puck. He cuts in. Saved by Richter. Another save by Richter. Another save by Richter. And he made another one. 5 saves by Mike Richter.
Thanks in part to Richter, the Rangers found themselves up 2-1 over the Canucks. But momentum can swing on a moment's notice.
Oh, call your heart doctor. Can't take much more of this.
Penalty shot for Bure.
We had about a bazillion Ranger fans on the verge of heart failure. So imagine the pressure on Richter.
Facing Pavel Bure in a crucial Game 4 penalty shot, the fate of the series and 54 years of frustration laid squarely on the shoulders of Mike Richter.
It's one more shot you just have to save. I mean, you're focusing on the game. Now, if he scores, obviously those guys are going to be on their toes a little bit more, and they'll have the momentum. He had a ton of speed, and I just tried to come out and play him honestly.
Here comes Bure against Mike Richter. Saved by Richter! What a save by Mike Richter to stop Pavel Bure! The Rangers here at Pacific Coliseum congratulate Mike Richter on a fabulous save.
That really changed the momentum of that game quite a bit. Of course, that would have meant anything unless we came back and played hard and continued to battle to win the game, which we did.
The New York Rangers will head home with a chance to win the Stanley Cup.
Of course, not only would they win the game, but also the series in a dramatic 7-game battle.
The waiting is over. The New York Rangers are the Stanley Cup champions.
An accomplishment that may never have happened if not for a save for the ages.